Okay.
I'm not doing intros anymore because I feel like if you are viewing my pod, if
Uh-huh.
you look at the description, you know why we're doing what we're doing. We want to
Yeah,
help student athletes, positivity, purpose, and peace. So we're just gonna get into it.
let's do it.
Brother Charles, how long have
Let's
we
go.
known each other?
It's been a long time now. Feels so weird just even saying that sentence, but it has been a
I
while.
know. I know. It's been like
6, at least 7,
7,
something like that.
2016, and we're in 2023.
Holy, that's crazy. That's so
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah,
So, right, it's going to be going on 8.
yeah.
And
Very
amen to
excited.
technology because our friendship has been sustained through FaceTime.
Very virtual. Extremely virtual relationship for sure.
Extremely virtual. Like,
Yeah.
seriously. But you're literally my brother, like my best friend. That's what's crazy. Like, we
Yeah, you're
talk pretty
definitely.
often.
Yeah, we do. We do. Very
Yeah.
close.
I'm definitely.
Huh?
What were you going to say?
Oh, you cut me off. So that's cool.
Charles
What do
isn't,
you
bro. Charles doesn't like to express himself, y'all. So just give him grace. Like you see, he was gonna give me a compliment. You're definitely, and then he took it back. It's
Yeah,
cool
no,
though.
because you said something, so I didn't want to cut you off, because you had something you wanted
Oh,
to say.
okay.
I wanted to give you space.
Right, right.
Right, that's
Okay.
all. That's all it was. That's all
Okay.
it
Well,
was.
yeah. So we met at USF. Why don't you just tell a little brief summary of who you are, what you're doing?
Yeah, went to college at University of San Francisco for a few years. Graduated there 2020. Transferred to University of Louisville. Got injured there. Suffered a few injuries at University of San Francisco also, but fought through those. Was trying to go to the league, but COVID happened, so I ended up going to Louisville instead. And then got injured. Basically, lost all my professional basketball opportunities and everything, and had to have surgery after the season. And then a lot of rehab, a lot of training, and everything. Basically, traveling, starting from scratch to get everything back. And now I just finished my last. I just finished a season in Spain playing professionally right now, and now we're just waiting to see what's next. So very excited for that.
And you were hooping there.
I
I
was,
You had some good little highlights.
we put in the work, so hopefully,
You put in the work, and
yeah,
that's not easy. When you like overcoming an injury for a long period of time is hard, but when it happens to you
mhm.
again,
Yeah, like you get a handful, it gets a little tough. I was definitely gonna quit. I was definitely thinking about just
no, seriously, seriously, it that definitely can cross a person's mind because it's draining. It's so
yeah,
draining. I think depending on what it is, like if it's an ankle tweak or something, you definitely have the tools to
of
glean
course,
from your past. Like, okay, I've been here before. I
yeah.
had the little plateau moments, but when it's like traumatic injury after the next,
hmm I mean,
it
it's
is
you have to remember, like it's already hard enough to get there, even if
yes,
you're healthy. You
exactly.
add injuries and stuff, it gets significantly harder with every single one after that. So it's like,
Yes.
and then just like the mental health aspect of everything too. Like you don't feel, you know, it kind of like you feel like you're losing part of yourself every time, and it's like you want
Mhm.
that over again and then over again. But
For
yeah, we're
sure.
still
And
here.
it's what are you gonna say?
Same, we're still here. We're still going. So
Yeah,
apparently,
no, that's
it's
beautiful.
I enjoy it enough. So
Yeah, yeah. And you have to have a strong resolve.
for sure.
Like you have to have a vision of what you're trying to accomplish to get through those rough moments.
Hmm. Definitely.
Because, ooh, even just building the muscle, seeing yourself weak, and then going through
Yeah.
that process of like, oh my gosh, I was in top shape. Like I'm going
Hmm.
through that now. I ran a mile for the first time. Hey, and like a dang, bro,
Woo!
that's crazy.
That's big
Um,
time.
herniated disc,
Yeah.
crippleizing, couldn't walk, couldn't move. Graduation was in a wheelchair. Ended my pro career, right? Like
Hmm.
I had an agent and everything, so
Yeah.
that was a mental hurdle. But being able to run and do something hard and
Yeah.
sweat and like
Feels good. Of
it feels so good. You know what I mean?
course.
So yeah, I commend you, bro. Like
Thank
you've overcame a lot.
Yeah, it's been a little tough, but we're still going.
And COVID, like
Yeah, COVID was rough.
COVID, no control. Like as an athlete, what do you? It's so funny because I was talking to a group of people about how it was hard during COVID as an athlete to
Mm-hmm.
just perform and be your best and be
Of course.
consistent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, we was playing through COVID though. Also, it's like, should we be playing? Is
Right.
it safe?
That's a
People are
valid
getting
question.
sick.
Yeah.
We could play games together, but we can't hang out. So I'm
Yeah.
isolated.
Mm-hmm. Very
Crazy.
rough. Very rough.
Very rough.
Yeah, no, I did that when I was in Louisville, like new school, didn't know anybody, anything, and I was just like, I didn't want to get anything, so I literally was not doing much of the socializing until I got injured, and I was like, forget all of this or whatever. And so, and I went to the whole music route and did a little bit of music and stuff, but that was fun.
Yes. And that's cool that you decided to invest in your music and your
I mean, I
gift in
didn't
that.
have a choice. I would have been. I mean, I think I told you a few stories, but it would have been very rough if I didn't have any
Mm,
during that time. So I just
yeah,
did what I needed to kind of get through it, and I was still just getting through it. Like I wouldn't say that I was like thriving in those moments. Like they were very dark. But I
right.
was pushing, like just trying to stay above water basically the whole time. But
So how important is it to have something outside of basketball or something outside of your sport
I
to
mean,
go?
it's everything. I mean, I would say I think it really just depends on how devoted you are to the craft itself in the first place. Because like to varying degrees, like if you have other things that you already care about, or it's not like a huge like central part of your life or your mental aspect or whatever, obviously losing it's still gonna suck, but it's not gonna be like life
Mhm,
defining or like
mhm,
a crushing moment for you. But if
mhm.
it's like everything that you do, or like it's literally what you think about when you wake up in the morning, once you go to sleep at night, like, and then you don't have that, and you're just kind of stuck. That can be a very very difficult thing to go through, especially like all the sacrifices you make. As athletes, you make so many sacrifices to play the game that you
So
want to play.
many.
So yeah, so having something else is like, I honestly don't believe I'd even be alive if I didn't have music. Like I know that might
Mm,
sound dramatic, but I genuinely believe that. Like I really do feel that way. So I mean, or something else. Like if it wasn't music, it would have had to be something else. I don't know, but
mhm.
that's just kind of, for me personally. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it becomes your whole life, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's by design or what, but it's really easy to lose sight of everything else that life has to offer
Hmm. Yeah.
when you're
I mean,
pursuing this dream.
yeah. I mean, and it's a beautiful thing, and it's a hard thing at the same time. Like I don't think that it's necessarily wrong that it's like that. Like
Mhm.
I've had like just certain experiences, and I'm like, the fact that I'm able to feel so strongly about something, I think is a beautiful thing, even if it is negative at the same time. Like how many people can feel that way, not because they're not going to be getting money, not because they have a family to support,
Mhm.
but like they feel this way because they can't do what they love to do. Like that's like a
It's
very
beautiful.
rarely do people feel that way. You know what I mean? Like to the point where
Yeah.
like it can break you. And I like the fact that you're even able to get broken by something like that. I think is pretty cool.
Wow. No, I agree, bro. And like, I just made a video the other day
Hmm.
on TikTok, and I was like, I was remembering how the situations I've been in because of basketball or because of sports are
Yeah.
they're not replicable in real life. Like there's lessons and
Yeah.
situations that are applicable. Like you can be like, oh, I learned that there.
Uh huh.
But being able to be on the line and make a game winning shot, you're
Yeah.
not doing that. Or like
Yeah.
traveling with your homies all day, or
Right.
there's just you know what is it saying, hindsight is 2020. Like it when you're done. I mean, I'm done,
Hmm.
playing professionally or collegiately. So I'm like, wow, no, that's really a different space.
Yeah.
And through the ups and downs, you really have to know, like, you're never gonna get that experience again. It's beautiful, and
Yeah.
you give yourself to it, live it, be mad, be sad, do well, figure it out. Like it's worth your investment, I would say.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think like also just like having this roller coaster relationship with basketball has been giving me
Mm-hmm.
a lot of perspective on just like how I approach it now is a little bit different. Obviously, I'm still like super devoted. Like I still have like notebooks where like I take notes of like plays or like different
Yeah.
ideas and stuff that I want to add and stuff like that. Or like I watch film, YouTube videos, all that stuff. But at the same time, I definitely have a lot more fun than I used to. Like when I
Mm-hmm.
traveled out to Spain last year, I went out way more than I normally would have, like in other situations and stuff like that. And like, I meet like I'm going like seeing the people traveling, like going to museums, like doing things just on my own, just because
Yeah.
I know that this stuff can literally go away like at any moment. And when am I going to be in this country again doing this? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I love that you said that because I was legit talking to my mom the other day about USF and like how I loved it there in San
Hmm.
Francisco and like
Yeah,
how I didn't do anything.
yeah. You
Cause I
don't
was, I
go for it.
didn't do any like
Yeah,
near to what I could have done. Cause I'm just like, no, I'm on the grind. Like,
yeah,
in the gym. What I got injured after my freshman year,
yeah.
trying to prove myself.
Hmm.
Punishing myself sometimes.
Of course.
Not going out, whatever. And it's like you really have to find that balance because having that break, having other opportunities to be creative and
Of
deal with
course.
conflict and like you got to have that outside
Hmm.
so you can relieve some pressure. Like you need relief.
Yeah.
That's something that I could say is a regret. It's just not fully basking in the full student athlete experience.
Yeah. I mean, there's pros and cons to everything. Like I say that,
And it
for me,
depends on who you
like
are.
yeah, like for me, like I mean, I think I took the whole like devotion thing to a very extreme level when I was in college, especially during the
Oh,
summers. Like,
tell them what you was doing when me and Chance pulled up on you.
I mean, you didn't even if you think that was bad, like you should have seen the summer times. Like I was the only person on campus because I knew that I'd have like unlimited
Mhm.
time. I never went home, and I would
Right.
work out like during the weeks. Like before I got my first injury, I'd work out 3 times a day. Wake up like 5 in the morning, go to the gym, do that like three
Yes.
times a day. And then on the weekends, I on Saturdays I'd only work out like twice, and then I was like doing side jobs or whatever to make some extra cash. And then on Sundays, I would just run to the Golden Gate Bridge and back, which is like
Mhm.
around 7.5 miles or whatever. I did like every day, like I did that every week for like a month, like two
Yeah.
summers in a row.
Yeah.
And like which I like at the on one end of like it's not like there are things that you miss out, but being
Mhm.
able to dive fully into something like that is also really cool too.
Yes.
Like that's
Yes.
like how many people can say I'm this devoted to doing something? You know what I mean?
Mm, yeah.
And even though I did have an unhealthy relationship with basketball, like if I would have got to the league, would I say that I like regretted my unhealthy relationship with basketball?
Mm,
You know what I mean, it's like no one's gonna be like, "Oh, you have a terrible relationship with that." Like, how are you gonna say that to me when I'm in the NBA? I got drafted or whatever. All these things. You know what I mean? So it's like that's what I mean when I say there's pros and cons. And I could still have that unhealthy relationship, but that got me, to that point where I get to play in the NBA. I get to do the thing that I've always dreamed of since I was a kid. You know what I mean? So it's just interesting. Like I don't really know like how to describe it,
it is, yeah. I don't
but
think there's a right or wrong way
yeah, that's
because
what I'm trying to say.
it
That's
depends
what I'm
on
trying to say.
where you're at, who you are, what you need. Some people can't do anything else because they'll get distracted. They'll fall
Yeah,
into it.
it's easy
Um,
to fall into it too. That's one thing that people don't talk about either. Is like, yes, have
especially
fun.
especially in men's sports,
Yeah,
because you
because
guys
it's
get a lot
fun.
of clout.
Yeah, for sure.
You
But
know?
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. But I mean, it's like you have like the things that you're doing are fun, and so it's like very easy to keep doing those things. Like there's a reason why you know uh, those things are difficult for people, but that's the thing. Is like you have to learn how to balance it and everything, and that's just you know it's a process. It's a process. I think just having a routine and trying to stick to it the best as
Yes.
possible and like giving yourself new challenges like in the midst of those routines is the best
Yeah.
way to kind of still stay like in that like in that zone where you're still challenging yourself, you don't get bored with your routine, and at the same time you're still able to go out and do other things. But when you
Right.
come home, you have another challenge that you have to get yourself up for that's going to keep you focused and keep you locked in. So that's kind of
Yeah.
the thing that I learned from this
Yeah.
whole process,
Yeah. No, that's good. That's so good. I mean, coaches nowadays, they don't give you too much opportunity to do anything else either.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that whole thing is so
That
unhealthy.
micromanagement be different.
It's
Not
so bad.
every coach is like that, but
Yeah, I was lucky that at San Francisco they didn't do that to us, but
yeah.
like other schools, it's honestly like I'm not. I think it's really wrong. Like one, it's real like they don't really work on skill development, so guys aren't even able to get better, and they're spending all their time in the gym every single day. They're not gonna want to spend extra time in there. They feel like they're like I don't want to use the
In
word slaves.
yeah,
They feel like they don't have any autonomy to do anything. So
facts.
why would they
Facts.
spend the little extra time that they have in the day when you're giving them 16 hours, in the gym? Why would they spend any extra time trying to get better? They don't even have a
Seriously.
lot. You know what I mean? So those are
There's yeah. No, there's something powerful about autonomy that people don't understand sometimes because you get so caught
yeah,
up. But
because you
it's
can
like
use that to get
if you
better.
trust me, yes,
Yeah,
exactly. If you trust me, I'm gonna go in the gym on my own.
exactly.
And I'm gonna play better because I'm getting time outside of this constructed practice time when it's all about everyone else. I'm able to focus on myself and free my mind.
Exactly.
You're not letting me be free. Like
Exactly.
I'm in chains.
And it's like what are we even doing spending all this time doing anyway? Like we're not getting better. We're just focusing on the same plays, or you want to add plays that we're not even going to use in the game. So like, what are we? I don't know what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I get it. Like, I get wanting to make sure that you checked off everything you want to check off as a coach. Like, I understand that because I'm a very
Right.
meticulous person too. But you have to also like give these guys time, away from the game so they can still want to play. Like
Yes.
that's a big thing. So I don't.
Yes.
That's just me. But
No, I agree. If any coaches watch this, give your student athletes some time in the summer. Stop stop keeping us there all summer. Like I I love playing basketball. I personally I
yes,
stayed the whole summer one time. But
I
that's
did everything.
different me choosing than being in the gym with all these group skill
Yeah,
development,
you
all
don't
team
exactly.
development, and you giving me all these different activities
Yes,
in the middle of the day. So I can't even go anywhere
yes,
after practice because you took up my whole day on purpose.
yes.
And
Like
this is
here's the
not
one.
to
Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say this isn't like to bash anyone. Coach, a lot of coaches
No,
do this.
no. Yes, this is a very common thing. Like what I would say is if you give ownership and you give players power and responsibility, a lot of players they want to be high achievers because they want to play well because they know what comes with that. It comes, all the attention, all the
Yes.
opportunities for more things in the future with their careers. And like it's nice to be able to play the game that you play and you play well. So if
Yes.
you give players, you challenge them and you're like, I'm going to give you this opportunity. This is what I want you to get better at. Come back to me better at these things. And if you give them
Mm,
that space, then a lot of guys are going to take that challenge up. But if you
right.
try to micromanage and control everything, then you're going to leave with players not enjoying the game of basketball as much as they would other.
Yes.
And so,
Yes.
and then
I
also you just get to overtraining and stuff, and that's how players get injured and stuff. Like it's just it can lead to a lot of problems. But
yes. I totally agree.
I mean, but there's like the other end of it where they just don't want guys getting lazy, when they're not paying them any attention. I get both sides. Like there's not any
I
perfect.
get and I think it goes back to Charles. What does my program look like? What type of
Yes,
players do I have?
exactly.
It's not a one size fit all.
Exactly.
Let's see what happens when I give them a little autonomy. Okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I think it really is situational, like you were
Yeah,
saying.
it definitely is. It definitely is. So, of
Some people you may have to micromanage because they'll get
course.
buck wild and you'll start
Yes,
losing, or your people are gonna come back out of shape.
exactly.
So I too see both.
Yeah,
But
or if they have too much free
let's
time,
talk about
or they have too much free time, they go out, they do things they're not supposed to do.
it. Yes, yes,
It gets
yes,
back to school and leads to a lot
it
of problems. That
yeah.
those are all possibilities. So like you said,
Right,
it's about making sure you have the right players that fit whatever you're trying to do as a coach. That's I think the most
right.
important.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk to you about staying ready.
Yes.
This is something you've had to exercise multiple times. This is something I've had to exercise an enormous amount of times as well. And I think it's something that student athletes of all ages need to practice as well,
Hmm.
because you don't always get the things you want when you want them. But
Yes.
when the opportunity comes, you cannot blow it and then expect for you to have any credibility or say or footing, you know? So
I
how are you able to, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that? Because I'm tired of this happening to us.
Okay. So I have three examples that I just came up with literally just now as you said this, and they're all very different circumstances. One I think is the most important thing that people don't talk about is the financial aspect of everything. And then two is just like just being ready in the basketball moments. So when I graduated from Louisville, well, not graduated from Louisville, I was so done when I got injured. I was just like, it was a lot mentally, and I was just like, I'm just done. So I just left. I didn't even finish. And then I decided I wanted to keep playing basketball, but I didn't have any means of making money, and I couldn't really walk because my knee was like messed up, and so I had to spend a lot of time not making money. I had to go back live with my parents for the first time since I graduated high school, and it was hard. And I had to work. Like I had to find ways to make some extra money on the side, like during the entire time. But I had money saved up from when I was going through college and everything. And I know, guys are getting bigger bags. Like it's nice, students are getting bigger bags. Like it's great. But when you leave, if you're not going to the league or you're not going to a top league overseas, you're not going to be making that much money when you start out. And you don't even know how long it's going to take before you get a job in the first place. So just
Mm,
making sure that you have your money saved up in order to give yourself that power, to wait out or to do
that's
things that
good.
you might not be able to do otherwise is so important. Like it's like I can't stress that enough. If I didn't have money saved up, there's no way I'd be playing basketball right now. And I
Ooh,
don't have
that's so no Louis V belts.
no Louisville belts, but that's fine. Like you can still. Here's the thing, though. Like you can still buy the things that you care about or that are valuable to you.
Right,
You have to ask
right,
yourself why you're buying those things, and you have to make sure that you're still good after you have those things. Like I still spent money. Making
right.
music is not a very. It's an expensive thing to do, and I spent a lot of money doing that. But I still had a lot. I had a budget for it, and I made sure I didn't go over that. And if I did, I made sure that I made enough money to cover me if I did go over it. And so those were the things that you kind of have to think about and like put into account whenever you're going through these kinds of things. Another story, just really quick. When I was traveling, I had to go through all of my savings because I wanted to play basketball. It was my dream. I was like, I just want to be able to prove to myself that I can come back and play professional sports because I've always wanted to do that. And so I was in France and I was working out, training with different teams out there. I got an invite to go to this team in Lyon, France, which is like a little bit outside of Paris. So I go there and I train or whatever, do all these things. Team likes me, but apparently it's too late in the season. They already had their American or like non-France player that they had signed, so I couldn't get on that team, even though I was definitely, in my opinion, I was best player there. But whatever. It is like it is what it is. They had me stay for another week, whatever. All these things happened. Still didn't get the job. I got signed to another team that was in Cameroon, which was my first opportunity to play professional basketball. So I took it, I signed the deal, whatever. Radio silence for like 2 or 3 weeks after I signed. And they had been texting me like almost every day before leading up to me signing. And so I thought that this team ghosted me. I'm like, this is not happening. I'm not going to play with this team. And so I had to go back because I ran out of money. I didn't have any more money to stay in Europe. And so I'm like, okay, well, I got to go. So I ended up going back to the States to stay with my parents, make some more money to try to do the whole thing again. But the first day I get back, I go to the gym and I'm still working out. And it was really hard because, I traveled overseas to do this thing and I'm here and I come back and I don't have anything to show for it. But I was still willing to work and I'm literally in the gym like every day, but like when I got back. And I'm like, I'm gonna get a job, and then I'm gonna, make some extra money. I'm gonna go out and do it again. That same weekend, I'm in the gym, and my dad's blowing up my phone. So I answer the phone. He's like, "Remember that team that you signed with? They want you to go play with them. Like they want you to leave on Monday." And it had been like a Friday or Saturday at this point. I didn't believe him. We ended up talking with the team and everything, and then I ended up going out. But I was like, I still stayed mentally ready that entire time that I was going to do what I was going to do, in spite of like literally it being like one of the hardest things for me to go through. And so I end up going, and then this leads into the third story. I get there, and in my opinion, again, I'm like the best player on the team or whatever. If I'm not the best player, I'm definitely one of the best players, whatever. But so I'm on the team, I'm playing, I'm practicing, I'm doing really well. We get to the games, and I'm not playing. And when I tell you that there are guys, like no disrespect to the guys I was playing with, but there are guys that should not have been playing in front of me. There are guys that should not have been playing in front of me. And it was like glaringly obvious. And I was so frustrated because I'd worked so hard and I was busting everybody in practice and everything, like significantly. And so I was getting really frustrated. But I had learned so many things along the way to just make sure I was staying mentally ready the entire time. I was practicing my breathing exercises when I was on the bench, just staying locked in, doing self-talk to myself while on
Mm.
the bench. And then I get to the point where, we're losing by like 20 points or something like that. And it's the fourth quarter is like, okay, well, game's over. Let's just put our bench players. I think I had like 17 points in the fourth quarter or something like that. And then the next game comes, I still don't play. They do the exact same thing. I'm like, okay, you know what? I did this before. I can do it again. I stay ready. I get in a little bit earlier. I score 17 again. And then it's like, I had like 12 points in like one quarter or something like that. And then I finished the game like 17 or something like that. And then that performance led to me getting all the other opportunities that I got to play basketball and even get to the point where I'm at right now, where I could say, like, staying ready is so important. Like, if you're not, because if I'm not ready in those moments, I have nothing. Like, if I'm not
Yes.
ready in that opportunity, I lose everything. I don't have anything. And, that's just kind of the way that it goes. But it's not easy and it's not fair for like a
It's
lot of people. But it doesn't matter.
yes.
You still have to be ready for because when that time comes and you're not ready, then we're like, you see, that's why you didn't get the chance. Even though you should have gotten the chance all that time before, it doesn't matter because when you got it, you didn't do anything with it. So
That's so good.
yeah,
You said so much there. I think one of the things I want to highlight what you said. It's not fair.
it's not, and that's
Sports is
okay.
not fair.
Oof, it's not.
Oh, it's not fair. Like you can literally, you know who I'm thinking of, and I'm name dropping Ronnie Boyce.
My guy, Ronnie.
A bucket, bro. I've
A
never seen that
bucket.
in my entire life.
A bucket.
Got no
Certified.
PT.
Yes.
West Coast Conference.
Yes.
Had like 32 in the fourth quarter. I've
Yeah.
never seen that in my life.
Yeah.
That's a very extreme example, but I give that to say you can be crossing your T's, dotting your I's, being a good teammate, making
Yeah.
your shots, busting people in practice, and you could still not play. That's the reality of it.
Yes.
Like you
Happens
said,
all the time.
you have to be strong enough to resist the temptation, to meditate on your pride and your offense.
Yes.
Because once you do that, you are going to be so distracted. And
Yeah.
that is, I promise you, that is the exact moment your coach is going to put you in.
Yeah.
And you're going to mess
They
up.
know. They know.
They know.
It's
They
not.
know.
They don't know.
No, right. They're
Yeah.
like, no, they're not ready at this moment. Let me prove
Yeah.
my point right here.
Exactly. Because everybody has pride. I don't care where you go. You're gonna find people with pride, and they want to prove that they're right.
That's
And so
so
they're gonna find ways to do that. And so you have to understand that you have to be stronger than that in those moments, and it is hard. And you're not always gonna do it. That's fine. But when those moments come, you have to be ready for them.
right. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you, but I lost the visual though.
You keep right when you're getting in your bag. That's pretty much.
I mean, it's cool. Maybe we'll talk about it later or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I think everything you said was so good and so on point.
Thank you.
And I appreciate your vulnerability with just being like, there's times I played, there's times I haven't played, you
Yeah.
know? Because I think sometimes as an athlete, we can have shame,
Mm-hmm.
and omitting that is like, oh, maybe I'm not really the player I thought.
I mean, so whether you are or not, you can always get better regardless, you know?
Good.
So like it is possible, and you might be right to complain about not playing. I'm not saying that you're not. It's very possible. There have definitely been times when I thought I should be playing, and I definitely should have been playing. And this is happening again. But like those things happen though, you know what I mean? So it's like, but regardless, you can still get better as a basketball player. So there are things that you can do. You're not playing perfect. If you were playing perfect, you would be playing. You know what I mean? You'd be playing more. There's no way that a coach is not going to play you if you're playing perfect basketball. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I just try to do, like for myself. Like when I get frustrated, I'm like, okay, do you get what I mean?
I do.
And I'm not saying that you're right. Like the coach is right for not playing you. But that's not the point. The point is you still have power, you still have control in that situation to still improve yourself as a basketball player or whatever it is in life that you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way that I look at it. Like whenever those things happen, I'm just like, okay, I know that I can do this. I know I can get better at this. Let me be the best at this and let me improve this. And then let's see what the coach does. If he still
Right.
doesn't play me or if they still don't give me the opportunities I feel like I deserve, let's see where else I can improve. And then let me do that too. And then we'll see what happens. Come back, you know? And then,
Yeah.
as those things continue, it becomes undeniable after a certain point. Like that's what happened to me in my last season. I went from not playing to like literally they give you the ball and they're like, take us home.
Right.
And I took us home a couple times, you know what I mean? Like it was a really good feeling.
Right.
Especially because I didn't even think that was like a possibility on that team, just because I had a lot of like I had a little ups and downs, a lot of ups and downs when it came to like the coaching and like the decision making and stuff like that.
I think my camera's getting hot.
It's probably overheating. That's probably what's going on.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Wow. This visual is gonna be. You were saying so much. I
Uh-huh.
honestly think I'm just gonna post it like this because
Really?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You kept talking over it and it was good. I'm like, I want it. Maybe, okay, this is what I'll do.
Hmm.
The people listening are going to get the full tea. The people watching, they may
Right.
not get everything you said.
That's
So,
fine. That's
and
fine.
that's fine. But I don't want to not post what you're saying because it's
Yeah.
so good, so valuable. The people listening, y'all got the real tea. There's a lot of technical difficulties. I got rainbow colors on my camera, but I appreciate y'all rocking with us still.
I just
Okay.
want to say something to you, Nia. I think that it's so great what you're doing right now. There's definitely a space and a community of people that need, to hear and have these conversations, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, they don't have access to to athletes like me and other people that you have on here to have these conversations or ask these questions. So the fact that you're providing that space like in a positive and a productive way, I think it's awesome. I really think it's good stuff that you're doing. So um, yeah,
Thank
just
you.
keep going.
Thank you so much. I
No
appreciate
problem.
it.
No problem.
I appreciate you and you doing this as
Yeah,
well.
of
It's
course.
not easy, but it's needed.
Yeah,
It's so needed. We don't have to suffer alone, or we don't have, or we can have joy together as well, right? It's not all
exactly.
bad.
It's
We can
not
have
like there's
this.
like
There's so many good things.
there have
Like,
been so many rough, dark moments, but along with that have been so many euphoric, like
wow,
unbelievably, like incredible moments that I would never, exchange for anything else. You know what I mean?
seriously, and just
And
how you go as a person.
I mean, I'm kind of turning a pretty cool person now. Like I'm not gonna lie,
True. I think so too. I
like
think so
the
too.
skills and the abilities that I'm getting, like also just like socially, like when you're in the league, like there's so many. You're so like I don't. I feel like you're so coddled as a person. Everyone does everything for you, and so you don't know how to actually do anything or like be like a functional human like outside of basketball. I feel like that's kind of the case in college too for the most part. But like when you get out on your own and you have to figure things out, like I taught myself how to like I know my body so well. I taught myself joint capacity, building out my joints and my mobility and my explosiveness through that. And now I'm more explosive than I was before I had surgery. I'm trilingual. Um, like my social skills have gotten so much better. My ability to like move around and understand different cultures and everything, like from a holistic point of view, has gotten better. And learning how to produce, mix and master. My songwriting has gotten absolutely insane. Like video editing, all these different things. I feel like I'm stacking like a crazy pile of like things, and I feel like I can learn how to do anything. I can teach myself how to do whatever I want. And I can be and do whatever I want. So it's like the liberation and like the freedom that I've gotten from, this path. For the longest, I've always said, everyone always says, like, oh, everything happens for a reason or whatever. Like, oh, like, but if you did this, then this wouldn't happen. I'm like, well, I'd be in the league, so I don't care. Like, that's what I want. This is like the first time, which is so crazy because I'm still broke. But this is the first time that like I've genuinely contemplated, like, if it was better, like where my life is right now versus like me being able to like, be playing in the NBA, which is so crazy because like I'm gonna be honest, I've never even like that thought has never crossed my mind. I was like, if I didn't get injured, I'd be in the league, and that's what I wanted. So I honestly don't care about anything else. Like that was just like that's where my head was at. Like to be completely honest, you know what I mean? And this is the first time where I'm like, even though I still don't have any money, even though my life is still not where I want it to be, because of the things that I'm building and working on, like I genuinely question. I'm like, okay, this is now it's valid to ask the question, like, would you rather have this or rather be, that guy who made it to the league and, is going, doing that? It's a valid question. And this is crazy that I'm like even like contemplating that. But that's just, that goes to show like you don't waste time and you work on yourself like during those moments, like the things that you can create out of what seems like nothing can be pretty incredible. And I'm not there yet, but I see the vision, I see the path, so it's exciting.
And there's only certain things you can learn in the valley.
Of course. Like it's impossible. You can't get those things when everyone's, holding your hand. Everyone's I'm trying to think of like a PG way to say these things. But like just everyone's just like, kind of trying to guide you to wherever it is that you're trying to go. You know what I mean? It's like because everyone sees, oh my goodness, he's this person or he's that person, and like let come here, do this for me. Can I have this for you? I have this for you. I have this for you. And everyone just wants something from you. That's really all that it is. And they want to get association by you because that proves or improves their social status or social whatever, social standing in the place. And like they're using you as a ladder. That's all that it is, And outside of what that one thing that you do, a lot of guys they don't have social skills. A lot of guys don't know how to do things. They don't know financial stuff, and it's fine because they've gotten to the point where they're making so much money. A lot of those things don't really matter at the end of the day, as long as they're not, their habits aren't atrocious.
And
Like those.
you're speaking to athletes that are pro. Like
Yeah,
let's bring it back to college athletes.
that's
A
true.
lot
When you get
of
to college,
women
that's
and
the
men are
problem.
leaving that space
Yes,
not
they
knowing
leave the space.
anything about
A lot of athletes leave, and they're still children when they graduate, and it's
yes.
really sad because they didn't learn how to do anything for themselves. They had
Nope.
everyone hold their hands and coddle them to do everything because they just wanted to get this short-term gain, so that way they wouldn't have to deal with the long-term growth that it has to take for them to actually build these skills to become
And you know what they're not used to?
accountability.
Not having this.
Yeah.
Good
They want to
job, you
get
guys.
they want to get applause for everything. They want to get, adulation for everything. And if they don't get that immediate, gratification after they do something, and it doesn't bring like that immediate thing, then a lot of guys, me, I'm telling you, a lot of guys, they'll just quit.
I know. Because hold on. You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do?
What are we doing?
I'm gonna change it to this is
PPP?
gonna be so good because look how resilient. This is how you know we're resilient.
Yes.
Cause look, I'm gonna just switch it to the
That's fine. That looks great anyway.
It's a little blurry, but it's okay.
Yes, it's fine. It looks great.
But yeah, made it made it a little rough to date. And I'm sure vice versa. Like we can't just make it like a dumb men athlete thing. Like some of us females, we don't know how to cook, we don't know how to think, we just know how to take pictures.
Yeah.
So I mean, so it is important to go through those highs and lows because it reveals where you're insecure, it reveals what you're lacking, it reveals where you need to grow, and you really only get it. Like I was just talking to my homegirl from church, and we were talking about our relationship with God and how you only know certain things through suffering. Sometimes
That's a bar though.
you have to look up. The only time you will look up at God is when you're suffering. I'm sorry. That's the way we are. We got pride. We think we can do it ourselves. And that's the same thing. Like with personal development, if you're not struggling, you're not going to grow.
Why would you? Why would you?
I don't even think you need to.
Why would you?
Why would you?
That doesn't even come to your mind. If it does, I mean, you're a special person, but it's so rare to find people like that. That's like that at the top, and they're like, "How much better can I get? Let me work on this." Like people don't think that way. That's just not.
People aren't doing that.
They're not. But one thing I want to say, like that's actually been one of the most incredible things. I had no idea that I got preferential treatment because I was an athlete. Because when I was in San Francisco, we didn't get like I don't know. I didn't feel like it was a big deal when I first got there that we were on the team and stuff because basketball wasn't a big deal when I first got to San Francisco. But like I didn't realize that I had started getting preferential treatment because it was so gradual. At the point like when I lost everything and then people like treated me differently afterwards. That was when I was like, oh, okay, so this is what like an athlete is like, and like I'm like, okay, oh, so like this is my friend. Oh, so he's not my friend. Like he just wanted the
even
spot.
Now, Charles. Even now,
yeah.
I'd be like, oh, we was low key hanging out all the time. Now you can't text me.
Like, okay, I mean, I didn't know, but now I know, and it's okay. I appreciate you for that lesson. You know what I mean? Yeah. And now it's like everyone around me. I'm like, oh. So this is all different. Okay, like this is why it's different. Okay, got you. Now I understand. I got it. But then when you go from that, and then you can still muster up the courage to find like incredible moments where you travel places and you do things that previously would have been only because of your clout. Now no one knows who you are. No one cares about who you are, and you're still able to do those things. That is a crazy.
You don't have the crutch.
You don't have the crutch, and it feels incredible. It's like now, like that's one of the things that I love. Like when I travel, like I don't like no one knows who I am. I can just move around, and like it's like one of those things where it's cool because you can really experience things without really even having that much money, and you get to meet people and make relationships and friends and have these experiences that are just so much more genuine. You know what I mean? Like you don't feel like you're cut off or secluded from the whole group. Like the whole VIP thing is kind of stupid to me. I'm not really big on that. Because I want to be like around, like I want to be with the people. I want to be around the people. That's where they're actually having fun.
That was so city life too. The VIP.
Yeah, but it's like you're not. The whole VIP thing is like it's just to look cool, but you're not actually having fun. So who actually cares? Like you just look special, but you just look like you're just a trophy on the wall. Like you're not doing anything. Everyone just stares at you, and you just stare back at them, and you're like, yeah, worship me or whatever. But you're not doing anything. The people that are actually doing it, stuff was like. The people that are out there, like, in the
ones you're going to text when it's all said and done. You're going to text the people that were out there.
Exactly.
No, I love that. And I agree. It's a huge flex to where, it doesn't matter where I'm at, whether I'm high or low, whether I'm rich or poor. I'm me.
I'm me.
It's gonna work out. I can have on Gucci. I can have on Payless. I know who I am. Nobody can take that from you.
Oh my God.
That's powerful. And you only know that when you lose it.
Yes. Because how could you know otherwise? Like everyone can have confidence, but you can't really know unless you actually go through it. And so I'm grateful for it, which is crazy. I think this might be actually the first time I'm saying it out loud that I'm grateful.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
Wow. That's amazing. That is amazing. I'm being so for real. I might just put this on there with the 3 lines. That's how I'm feeling. The convo was juicy.
It's very,
I'm gonna cut the dead time, but
yeah, of course, of course.
I might keep it because it was still a very fruitful conversation,
Mhm.
nonetheless.
Yeah,
And I don't want anybody to miss any of it.
no, I get that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
because my camera's overheating. But I
Yeah,
can't be mad at the camera,
right.
can I?
Oh, that's good.
I
You
can't.
work through it. You work through it.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Well, thank you so much, bro.
problem.
Love you, appreciate you.
You too. It's been great.
I'm wishing you the best as always, and I'm already knowing this pod. Like whoever chooses to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a blessing to them. All right, peace.
Signing off.